Okay, guys, so we're in Magna, Utah. I was flipping a house around the corner here, and every day I've been driving up and down this road. It's kind of the main road coming out of here, and I kept seeing this property here behind me that's all fenced up. And I've always been interested in the car wash business and how that operates. I wrote a letter to the owner. It was like some enterprise corporation, but the address was here locally here in Utah. I sent it off. Like 2 days later, I got a phone call. The owner's a super cool guy. He says, "That's awesome that you want to run a car wash business. I think it's a great opportunity. Let's see what we can do." We haven't really figured out any of the terms yet or anything, but he let me go make a copy of my own keys. He said I can go check it out. We'll figure out if we can make anything happen here and go from there. So let's go check it out. So first thing when you come up here, there's like pigeons everywhere. Like you can just see they've torn apart the place. You can see a hornet's nest like up in the corner there. I think there used to be like a security camera mounted right there or something. Obviously this place is pretty beat up. The very first thing, like as soon as I walk in here, as I'm noticing like business wise, is you can't even accept credit cards here yet. And the old price that used to be on here was $1.25. I've been talking with some of the people around here just because I've been remodeling some homes around here and stuff, so I've gotten to talk with some of the neighbors, and from what I can tell, it's been at least 10 years, probably more than that this car wash has been open. So a lot of deferred maintenance probably. I can't imagine anything in here would still run, but I guess we'll find out. We'll start firing stuff up. Back here, it looks like there was 4 pedestals for some vacuums. Those have been removed. They left us some nice graffiti on the wall back here. At some point, someone's broken in and graffitied our wall up a little bit. The booms, there's no spray nozzles. Check this out. So we've got a little bit of spray paint on here. Looks like they attempted to vandalize this, but we got Wash-O-Matic, Southwest Temple, Salt Lake. So we have an address and we have a phone number. So maybe this is like an equipment distributor. We can give this a call and see if we get anywhere with that. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of mess. So I think how this worked was there's supposed to be like a box down here that the quarters fall into, and the boxes are missing on both of the bays that we've looked at so far. Not seeing a lot of promise yet on any of this, but I'm sure a lot of this can be replaced. I don't imagine we'd ever try to salvage any of this anyways, but who knows? Maybe some of this stuff will still work if we can find some parts for it. So, no, he did tell me when he gave me the keys to come check it out. He said that he's put up this chain link fence first of all around the front of the property to keep people out of here. They're graffiti probably, and he had people dumping oil down his drains. So, like, there's a couple of car shops and stuff around here, and he said that people were dumping oil into his drains and just all sorts of stuff. So he had all of his drains pumped out, inspected and everything. So he says the drain system is good to go in this place. We don't need to look at every single bay. That's basically it. But the thing I'm most curious about is the equipment room. So let's see what's inside. So I was out here just like a week ago, and I started looking over a couple of things already in here, And we have good news actually on our water heater. I got the gas turned on, and this is like a commercial water heater. It says it's 100 gallons. Ream commercial gas water heater. It has an autopilot on it and everything. And so I got the gas turned on, and I ran water through it, and it lit up and runs and heated water, and I flushed out the lines going to the back of the building all the way through. So we can salvage the water heater. We found that out. Just yesterday I was messaging a guy about this water softener. It looks like it's like missing I haven't tried to run any water through here because it's missing like this front control unit. I think there's supposed to be like a little computer or something that's mounted on the front of this water heater. I basically think that this is not salvageable. If you look inside here, actually, you can still see it's still like half full of water softener salt. Maybe if they can find like a control unit and put on there, but we're probably planning on replacing the water softener. And then these pump systems, I actually came through and I fired up a couple of these, and we got like leaking stuff all over. So come check out some of these parts. There's like these manifolds where the hot and the cold water come in, and this is just plastic. So obviously over 10 years, we've had a couple of nights at least, minimum, that have gone under zero. So any moisture that was still in here was not good on these. So a lot of these are cracked, these plastic pieces. And then I think this is some type of like pressure regulator here. And then this is where the soap and the wax come into these pumps. And there's like a cast iron diaphragm. I think this is what like helps create the Venturi effect, where it like pulls the soap and the wax into the water, because there's an arrow right here. But more than half of these are cracked. So I think that it got cracked just from frost and freezing over the years, and there's water left inside of this system. So that is busted up. What I did was I took parts from the 5 different pumps and bays that we have here. You can see I've robbed it off this one and this one, and I've got one pump that I've been able to turn on and get water through. So we'll show you that in a minute outside. This boiler system right here, and I'm just learning like all this stuff as I go. Like I just barely got the keys to this like a week to 10 days ago. And so I'm just like figuring out all the different components of a car wash. But obviously in the winter, especially in Utah here, we get a lot of snow. We can't have like snow in our bays. Well, whatever washes off, comes off the cars, inside the bays as well, needs to like drain and melt. So there's a radiant floor heat that goes through all 5 bays, and this is, I guess, a boiler system that pushes all that through. And I had a guy come out and pressurize all of the lines that run glycol through them. I guess it's kind of like antifreeze or something. It runs through the cement floors, and that was all good. He gave us a quote for $2,000 because this pump right here is seized up, and we need to replace that pump and do some tune-up on the boiler itself. But $2,000 is a lot better than the $30,000 that I was quoted for a new boiler system. So we're gonna salvage that. So we've got those two items. Real quick over here, before I ever got in here, they replaced the main water valve. I opened up the water valve. We'll do it right now. And I found all the leaks that are in this system. Like, I mean, we're talking everywhere, obviously. In 10 years, a lot of things have happened. If you come back here and look real quick, but you can see water spraying out underneath right here where a line is cracked. You know, we just got to tackle one thing at a time and see what we can repair and get it going. But I mean, that's a minimal leak for this huge system that we have here. So actually come back here and check this out. So I say this place is abandoned, but the more I look into it, I'm finding out that it wasn't as abandoned as I thought. The water heater was properly winterized and everything previously. Obviously we got some cracking and some lines from moisture and stuff, but like they left us all the keys for everything. So everything's laid out right here. I actually have keys. Let's open up some of this stuff and see what's inside. So right here, this is our bill exchanger. Unfortunately, there wasn't a huge amount of quarters left in here. In fact, I haven't hardly found any. And then this is where like all the paper bills go. So I actually plugged this in, and I've got a light. I got lights that come on here, and I guess I just need to go to the local bank and get a tub of quarters and fill it up and see if it works. But I'd imagine there's something I got to do to get it working. So that's that. And then a lot of these keys open up some of these vending machines right here. I still have these keys. I've never seen the inside of these, but they actually work pretty cool. So you get a quarter. Let me actually grab a quarter and let's see how this vending machine works. Okay, so we need $1 in quarters to drop this. And so right here the quarters go in. So we got $1 of quarters in the machine now. We pull this out and it drops the quarters into this tray. And when you let go of it, push it in, it's a little rusty, it drops another tray down. So I'm guessing you put like Armor All wipes in each one of these trays, and then every time a quarter worth of coins goes through, it drops these trays down. And so if they're not working or vending anything in 10 years, it's still, I guess it would still work. I'd try it at least. I haven't been able to find the keys to get the rest of these open though. So we'll see. So there's an old air compressor back here, and from what I've learned, I've basically just jumped on like this Facebook group called Talk Car Wash and just started asking people questions, reading through like previous questions and searching for stuff. And I guess you need air to produce like your foams and stuff. And so I think what I'm looking at right here is the low flow like foaming stations. So you push compressed air into there with the water, and the detergents that are in there get foamy when you add air. And so that goes out to the bays, and I've tracked like these red hoses out to the bays to the foam brushes. So the black ones are all going to like my pressure washer wands, and then the red ones are going to the foam brushes. So that's what I found so far with this system. Obviously, like you see this right here, it was cracked off. Probably same thing, probably had a bunch of water sitting in the bottom of it, and then it cracked eventually over time. So we're gonna, I have some ideas with this to rearrange it. Hopefully if we end up having to replace these pumps, they sell something nowadays that's a little more compact, because this takes up a ton of room in our equipment bay here. So my next thought was to take this heater out of the corner here and mount it like up high in the back of the equipment room, so it's out of the way, and so we can open up this area and like use this tool table here with the vise and stuff. And this, I think these are for a reverse, they call it a reverse osmosis system for a spot-free rinse. But I don't know. I'm just taking a guess from what I've seen and been reading like online on Facebook and stuff. So here's another one of those frozen things that got cracked. It says DEMA, a DEMA filter. So I got to go home and look up what a DEMA filter is for. Or it doesn't say filter, it just says DEMA, so maybe it's some type of dosage system. But I guess we gotta show you guys one last thing. We gotta go upstairs, peek in the attic, and see what we're looking at up there. Okay, so I found a couple cool things up here. I found like a brand new foam brush. We can go plug these into some of the bays and see if we can get any water to come through the pumps. And so we got some pressure wash wands right there. There's brand new signage right here. So I don't even know if we'll have all these settings if we do a new setup, but we got a new set of signs for each bay if we end up being able to use that. And then the rest of this stuff just looks like vacuum hoses, which I'd prefer to have the vacuums rather than the hoses right now, but we'll take what we got. Okay, so I found some interesting things up here. There's all this like speaker wire running through up here, and I was trying to figure out what that was for. And I realized it's for like when you put coins in the machine, or it's like warning you to that your time's running out, that it starts like blaring an alarm, right? So something you don't think about, but there's like speaker systems going to each individual bay. And then I found some old boxes for some video like surveillance equipment back here, and so we've got wires running throughout this whole bay, or this whole attic, for a surveillance system. So I'm starting to realize there's actually like a lot of stuff here that potentially we can look at salvaging or would help. But when I was able to get up here and it's actually pretty accessible, it was pretty promising, because I think we can make something work at this car wash. All right, so I climbed up here because I was mainly trying to trace some of our like hoses to like which bay runs which is from which hose, and I started like taking this off, and I realized they have like foam and insulation around all the hoses that run to all the different bays, so that in the wintertime, hopefully none of this stuff freezes. So there's like these troughs that run all these different hoses down to each different bay. So we're not in too bad a shape up here. This cable right here, it looks like goes to like it looks like a coax cable, so I think it's for the security system that was in here. So this is where I found the this is like where the speaker wires are hooked up, and it just had this little speaker. And then I realized this is like mounted right next to the boom. And so I think this is where the noise come from when you like drop quarters in the machine and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So it actually makes sense now why there's like a coax cable coming down from the attic right here behind us. So this actually came down into this old dinosaur TV that I could go pick up from like the Goodwill store, and probably run the security cameras. I don't know, hopefully by posting this video I find some people that know more about this than I do, and you guys can give me some tips on what to do. So if you want to follow along, see what we end up doing with this car wash, subscribe to the channel that we're starting here on reviving this place and seeing if we can make any money off it.